Hello all, welcome back to another video and welcome to Sammy G's World of Cinema. Today on the channel, guys, it is that time of year again. I wanted to reflect on some of my favourite films that has come out in the year 2025, which for me personally, guys, not been the best year for new releases, but it's still been a pretty solid year. I am actually glad to say there's more new releases I've watched this year that I've liked and disliked, and some of the new releases I've absolutely loved from this year, and we're going to get onto those as later into the video. So yeah, I would say this has just been as good as last year for me in terms of the decent, solid year, but that I think, even to be honest, like last year as well, there was a couple of masterpieces for me that was at the top two, and yeah, actually, I'm going to go with this again. Actually, the top two I would even consider masterpieces in the end of year favourite films of the year list. Now, I just want to say, guys, just to say this is only my personal favourite top 10 favourite films of the year. I'm not saying these are the 10 ultimate best films of the year. Everyone's lists are going to be different, and that's the beauty of movies. We all love different things, and variety is the spice of life, and that's what makes the world go around. So the 10 movies that I would say I have enjoyed the most from this year. But first of all, guys, I've got a fair few honourable mentions, actually, and these actually are mainly from 2025. I could have picked a couple more films if I wanted to that are kind of 2024, but were released in the UK in 2025. But I think for time-wise, I'm just going to focus on, like, mainly the 2025, like, releases here. Enough waffling. I am going to get right into this with the honourable mentions. So, firstly, I've got a few surprises of the year. Like, I was thinking about doing a video, most surprises of the year, in my opinion, and but I thought I would just give them all a brief mention, all meshed together at the start of this video. Firstly, Karate Kid Legends. Yeah, this was absolutely awesome. Kind of a breath of fresh air for this film series. I think this was the first Karate Kid feature-length film in 15 years, and it was great, guys, in my opinion. Just a good, like, set of new characters. It was great to see a couple of callbacks to the original. Great returning characters as well, with Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, and yeah, I thought this was awesome. Companion with Sophie Thatcher. This was also really cool as well. Jack Quaid, I'll give a quick honourable mention to Novocaine, actually, because I did really enjoy that one. But yeah, this was a really, like, interesting sort of take on, like, an AI subgenre as well, and AI has been a big talking point for a lot of people in recent years, and yeah, this was a really, like, nice surprise of a new release as well. It had a little bit horror meshed into there, but it was kind of like done in the sense of it being a thriller as well, and you didn't know where they were going to go with this main, like, sort of robot in the film, and I thought the setting was really interesting, the way the film was set up, and the film kind of kept flipping on its head like constantly as the film went on. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Couple of superhero movies, guys, and yeah, these were good surprises as well, I've got to say. Fantastic Four First Steps. I had a great time with this one at the cinema. Again, it was nice to finally see a good, solid Fantastic Four movie. I think this was the Fantastic Four film we have all been wanting for years on end, and we finally got it here, you know, and I did like the whole 60s aesthetic. The main threat of the story was an interesting antagonist. I thought all the actors, the cast and crew did a good job. There was a couple of good action set pieces. There was the, you know, like the Silver Surfer, is it Galactica? really good, like, sort of, like, villains to this film. But yeah, I just thought, again, the 60s aesthetic, it had that real retro feel about it. It's pretty crisp and sharp. And yeah, I really, really did had a great time with this one at the cinema. One, I'm actually toying about getting on 4K actually, because I would watch this one again. Then on the other side of the superhero spectrum, and we've got DC and the latest Superman from James Gunn. Yeah, this was awesome. I really enjoyed this film, guys. I thought the main guy who played Superman, Clark Kent, I thought he was, you know, he did a pretty good portrayal. Nicholas Hoult did a good, like, version of Lex Luthor. And yeah, it was great to see kind of like a sort of a new recruited squad as well that was there to accompany Superman in this, like, brand new rendition here. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. And this is got to be one of the biggest surprises of the year, the Cohesion Scheme. Wes Anderson, what a man. And it was just great to see a brand new Wes Anderson film that I actually wasn't disappointed with. In the end, it turned out I actually really enjoyed this one, because the last couple of Wes Anderson films have been a bit, I've had a bit of a rocky relationship with his last couple of films, but this one was a nice surprise, and I just thought Benicio del Toro was a great choice for a leading actor in this film. I just found the journey, the story was interesting. The main actress was a great supporting role in this. Michael Cera possibly gave one of his best career performances in there. It was great to see Richard Ayoade in there as well. There was kind of like a bit of a rival to the story, if you like, but yeah, I was quite impressed with this one. Definitely my favourite Wes Anderson film since Isle of Dogs. I think this is probably his best one in my opinion since Isle of Dogs. Mission Impossible, yep, this was a good send-off to what has been an awesome action film series. I really had a good time with this one at the cinema, guys. Couple of slow-paced moments here and there that teetered on a little bit, but there was enough here to carry its weight, and Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt absolutely firing on all cylinders. All the other, like, returning characters and the cast and crew were just on point in this. And whilst this might be one of my least favourite entries in this film series, this was still a good solid conclusion there, and I thought it was a beautiful ending as well. Good villain with Gabriel in there, good callbacks to the previous films, yeah. And I'm actually really ecstatic now to go back and re-binge this film series all over again, because yeah, this has got to be one of my favourite action film series, this now. The latest Knives Out, yep, this was good, guys. I think this was probably my least favourite of the trilogy, but I still enjoyed it, which that's just got to be props to what a stellar job Rian Johnson has done with these set of films. I just think each film has a different layer and tone about it. It's got a unique way of kind of, you know, like capturing that whodunit sort of subgenre. And yeah, I think that is just, you know, played off greatly by a good set of characters, whether that's previous characters we knew from the first film or a brand new set of characters as well. It was good, and this had a decent kind of like sort of story to it. Interesting kind of take on the religious theme of this film that it was going for. Definitely a good like sort of twist and reveal towards the end of this one as well. Then the latest Naked Gun, one of the biggest surprises of the year again. I'm so glad I saw this one with a crowd, because if I watched this for the first time and it didn't have a crowd to go along with it, I don't think it would have given that same impression, because with this being the comedy film it is, you need a crowd to accompany it on that first time viewing, and yeah, it absolutely delivered. Again, definitely probably one of the better modern comedies we've had in recent years, and Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin Jr. absolutely stole the show, front, left, right and centre. But Pamela Anderson was a great sort of supporting character to the story. And yeah, there was just a barrel of laughs in this film. Just a bit of a return to form for sort of modern day comedies, if you like. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. That snowman scene, that kind of caught me off guard a bit as well. Drop, yeah, I enjoyed this one. It had a bit of a sort of Hitchcockian sort of feel about it. Again, it was kind of interesting how it was set in one main sort of setting room, if you like, throughout the duration. Again, this date that you think is going to go sort of this lady's kind of way, and you know, she's kind of gonna have a nice night out, but once she presses on this deadly app, it kind of spirals out of control and it turns her night upside down, and then she's got to try and find who is responsible for this anonymous app. Yep, really enjoyed this one. Begonia, really good, again from this same director who did Poor Things and Kinds of Kindness. So this director's been on a real solid run of films the past couple of years, and this was just a really interesting sort of conspiracy thriller, if you like. Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, the other main guy in there, they really just, again, they carried this film down to a T. Back and forth debate of this film surrounding this main character, and it just made for a good guessing game, if you like. And yeah, it was a kind of some layers of this did actually remind me of 10 Cloverfield Lane as well. So yeah, really good one. After the Hunt from Luca Guadagnino, which, wow, this director has been on a roll recently, because I did really like Challengers that came out last year, and the film Queer as well. Call Me By Your Name is really good. So this director's been on a very good run. Luca as well. So yeah, I really did enjoy this film, guys. Julia Roberts, fantastic actress. She gave a stellar leading performance in there, and again, it kind of deals with a little bit of a tough subject matter, and I think they handled it pretty well in this film, and you kind of sort of guessing who's to blame and who's to point the finger at as well, and what Julia Roberts has to deal with her role as a professor, but yet kind of being there to support someone that's been victim of something that happens at the start of the film. It's a really interesting film. That kind of the camera work and the layers, the techniques as well this film went for was very interesting as well, and a great soundtrack, I've got to say as well. So that's After the Hunt. Then the second to last of the honourable mentions, and I've gone for Roof Man. The same director, Place Beyond the Pines and Blue Valentine, and yet once again this director delivered another home run here. This was really good, guys. Interesting sort of biopic as well of this main guy in the early 2000s, who was in who went from going into prison to breaking out of prison, and he's hiding out in this department store, in this retail store for a number of years, and he's kind of keeping a low profile. He's keeping his identity to himself, and he's looking out for people. He meets someone and they form a bit of a relationship along the way. So yeah, it's a really good film. Had a bit of a noughties aesthetic to this one as well. And again, Kirsten Dunst was great in this film as well. Channing Tatum did a decent job as the main leading character there. And the last of the honourable mentions, a film I literally watched recently that dropped onto Netflix, and that is a film called J. Kelly, from Noah Baumbach, who is a brilliant director. Absolutely loved Marriage Story, Squid and the Whale's really good, and Francis Ha is excellent. So yeah, this director has given us another really good movie here. The whole Hollywood feel about this film, and just surrounding about a main actor that's looking back on his life, and he's looking back on his previous relationship, and obviously when he used to get on with someone that's in sort of the film industry, but now they've kind of clash heads, if you like. So it's really good, and George Clooney and Adam Sandler were a great pairing, a great duo in this film as well. I really liked Laura Dern's supporting character in this film as well. And yeah, one scene involving a train that caught me off guard as well. So yeah, really good film, and kind of interesting the direction this film went in, because I wasn't kind of expecting it to go down that way, but when it did, it probably made the film that extra bit better. So that's J. Kelly, my top 10 favourite films of the year. And I just want to mention, guys, this is only my personal top 10 of the year. Everyone's gonna have different lists, and so they should, because variety is the spice of life, and that's what makes the world go round. There's probably some key new releases I probably should have checked out in prep for this video, but I think there was films like Marty Supreme, Zootropolis 2, The Housemaids that might have had a run for its money in my top 10 possibly. These are the 10 movies that I have enjoyed the most, nonetheless, and those films I didn't get around to checking out, I still plan on checking out nonetheless in due course. So yeah, grab yourself a cuppa or a beverage of your choice. Let's see what has made it into my top 10 favourite films of 2025. Come on, bring on the show, let's go. So coming in at number 10 now, there are a couple of these films I've literally just watched very recently in prep for doing this video, and I'm so glad I've checked some of these out, guys, in prep for this video, because I had a feeling I probably should check out some of these new releases, because you never know, they might just crack into my top 10 of the year. This was one of them, kind of just by the skin of the teeth. It's a film called Sorry Baby. So this coming in at number 10, and this was excellent, guys. I thought this film was really good, because it's dealing with a tough subject matter. It's something that can happen in real life, and you're really feeling sorry for this main girl in it that's dealing with a whirlpool of emotions. She's just had this really horrific experience. She's on that road to recovery, and her friend has got a busy life. She's just, started a new family, and you've seen her kind of a bit of a lost soul, and she doesn't know how to take all of this in, but you find that she's got her neighbour, played by Lucas Hedges, as like good company there. I loved who is it, the character as well, who's been in like a fair few things, who was by the like the drive through, and he, you know, like I loved like kind of those scenes when they're just sitting down and chatting live. That's probably some of my favourite scenes of the film. But the main girl in it, the main actress, was fantastic in this film as well. Loved the scenes with her and the cat as well. So yeah, that's the film Sorry Baby, coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, one of a couple of there's a couple of Stephen King adaptations on this list here, folks, and this being one of them. And at number 9, I'm sure Jim's movie channel is going to be very happy this made it onto the list. So if you're watching this, Jim, you'll be pleased that this made it into my top 10 of the year, and that is The Life of Chuck. So yeah, this was beautiful, guys. I loved this at the cinema. Picked up the Blu-ray recently, and I'm really looking forward to going back to this already. It was just so interesting, so fascinating to watch, like, these three chapters unfold surrounding this main character. You see kind of this end of the world scenario in the first chapter. The second chapter, you see the main guy, Chuck, and what he's all about. And then you see in the third chapter, like him as a young teenager, and you know, like as a youngster. And yeah, this was just such a fascinating drama, this one, guys. Again, you had some other great supporting characters in each chapter. Mark Hamill was amazing in this film. Mark Hamill was brilliant in this. Probably him and Tom Hiddleston were probably my two favourite characters in this film. And yeah, it was just brilliant. The way the film was shot, the way the film was narrated, and you know, just focusing on this one character throughout this film. And you know, I just think that there was so many interesting layers per chapter. Yeah, so had to be done, had to come into my top 10 of the year. The Life of Chuck, which I just thought was a beautiful Stephen King drama. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to going back to this one, actually. Then at number 8, I love British movies, and I'm so happy to see a British movie come into my top 10 of the year, and that is a film called I Swear. Now, this was beautiful. This was fantastic. I loved this film, guys. Just we focus on this main guy, John Davidson, and he's discovered he's got Tourette's. And at the time, in the early 80s, it wasn't as kind of well known as it is today. Like back in the time when it wasn't as well known as it is now, and it has been more well known for many years compared to that time, and you know, in the early 80s. And this was just brilliant, guys. I thought the main guy did a great job as John Davidson. You see him evolve as a character, and he is just a source of inspiration. He just still keeps going on in life, and I just thought that was just a beautiful message as well. I loved seeing Peter Mullen as a supporting character with the screen time he had in this film as well, and that ending really hit me like a ton of bricks as well. It is just a beautiful movie, and for someone that didn't know about John Davidson before this film came out, it was a really interesting biopic, and I think this is a film that's really going to help a lot of people with Tourette's as well. And I just think it's just a beautiful, fantastic, wholesome film. I loved the main supporting actress in there as well that played that guy's mom. She was brilliant in there. So great soundtrack as well. At number 8, I Swear. I love British movies, guys, and this is no exception here. Coming in at number 7, we've got the latest version of Frankenstein from Guillermo del Toro. Yes, I finally got round to checking this film out, and my word, my goodness, guys, this was brilliant. I loved this film. The production, the visuals, the score, the main cast in there, all the cast in there, should I say, were brilliant. And this was just absolutely wonderful, guys. The look of Frankenstein was really cool. I just thought, whilst this film took a while to get into third gear, and there was a couple plodding moments, I will say, that you know, there was a couple slow-paced moments in there, a couple pacing issues, but it didn't take me out of the film, guys. I just thought, again, the way the film looked and the visual side of it was gorgeous. It was poof. It was glowing. It was really just, again, a kind of a visual treat at times, a visual feast for the eyes. And this retelling of Frankenstein was brilliant. I couldn't have picked another director to kind of handle this version of Frankenstein than Guillermo del Toro. I think he did it really well there. The main guy who played Victor Frankenstein was a great like casting choice, and yeah, it was great to see from Victor's point of view and Frankenstein's, the monster's point of view as well, and to carry this sort of like, each had their own journey and stuff to how they got to present day, and yeah, really, really good. And I would definitely watch this one again in the future. In fact, if they're gonna do a retelling of Bride of Frankenstein, please let it be Guillermo del Toro, because this was a great watch, I've got to say. And great costumes and that as well. It was great. Number 6, just missing out on my top 5, and that is another Stephen King adaptation, The Long Walk. I absolutely loved this, guys, and actually one of the biggest surprises of the year, because I didn't hear anything about the book before this year. I remember getting told one day, Sam, look out for a film called The Long Walk, and through like that there's just been a trailer dropped for this film, The Long Walk. Check this one out and be sure to take a look at this film. And yeah, I remember watching the trailer thinking, yeah, that could be really interesting, and I thought I was gonna like it, but I went from thinking I was going to like it to absolutely loving it, to the point now it's here in my top 10 of the year, and I'm so glad it is. The main 2 leads were amazing, guys. They worked so well together. It was so scary, though, watching this set of characters in this sort of like drastic and cunning situation where if they cross any boundaries or like sort of like go underway with any rules, they will be, you know, like they will have to pay the price. And it was quite scary watching what these group of lads had to go through at times, but you're really rooting for them, and you're really rooting for them to get to the finish line. And man, yeah, there was some the intensity. There was some anxiety-inducing moments of this film at times, and that ending, my goodness, my jaw hit the floor with its conclusion. But it's a fantastic film, guys. Really good. Again, I think this has just been a really good year for Stephen King adaptations, and this is no exception here. So just missing out on my top 5 of the year there. The Long Walk from, can't think who directed this, but yeah, really good film all the same. So interesting to watch this journey unfold as the film went on, with a really interesting set of characters here. Into the top 5 of the year. So coming in at number 5, I have gone for a film that I literally watched today as I'm recording this video, on Saturday the 27th of December. And again, my goodness, I'm so glad I checked this film out in prep for this video. And that is Sentimental Value. Wow, this film was fantastic. I loved this. This director, the same director, Worst Person in the World, good job, because now the last couple of films from this director I have loved. Worst Person in the World, just incredible. Like, one of my favourite films from the past few years, and could go down as one of my favourite ever films one day, who knows. But this was really good, guys. I just loved how we focus on this father and daughter, where the father, played by Stellan Skarsgård, I think he had a couple of health issues. He was kind of working with Ellie Fanning on this like TV production or this new project, and he's having a bit of a rocky relationship with one person to another, and like him and his daughter are just not, they kind of again clash heads. They don't quite gel as they'd like to in recent times, because he's kind of more been leaning towards what he wants to do with like kind of his own filmography, him as a filmmaker, and he's not really paying enough attention to his daughter's sort of like theatre work, because she's working in theatre. And it's so interesting focusing from each point of view in this film, and how it brings these characters together, but how you see, like them kind of like individual points in the film, individual places in the film should we like. And yeah, it was just really good, guys. I thought the music was great in this film as well, and for a film that clocked in for nearly 2 hours, it didn't feel like it. There was enough to keep me engaged and satisfied with what was going on. It was just a great like kind of family-driven story as well, looking back on, a lot of kind of what's happened previously with this house as well, this family tree involved. Yeah, I really had a great time with this film. And after Worst Person in the World and now this film, I can't wait to see what this director's gonna do next, because this was great yet again. My favourite film from Mubi this year, and they are fantastic distributors. So yeah, that's Sentimental Value. Coming in at number 4, I went for the film Weapons. So this film, I am glad and honoured to say this was the first film I saw at the brand new local cinema here in Blythe at the Market Pavilion, and my goodness, what a great first film to see there, because yeah, this was really good, guys. I thought this was excellent. Like, it was just so interesting, where you're seeing from kind of a set character's point of view through the disappearance of like this classroom, and it's really interesting seeing and I think it was a great sort of set of characters to focus on each point of view. Where is this heading sort of thing? When are you going to find out more about the disappearance and stuff? And I think the way the film it kind of just unfolded and unraveled towards the end, that where the film went into a whole new direction as well, kind of with that drastic outcome, but building up towards that, it just kept me engaged all the merry way there. And again, the choice of actors, again, the sort of the sound design as well, the actress who plays that main actress as well, as you see kind of her character makes a bigger impression of this film towards the end, and it's just so interesting to watch. And my goodness, that ending, it very much amplifies the craziness of this film and what that has to offer. So this was brilliant. Definitely one of the best films of the year in my opinion. And yep, really looking forward to checking this one out again at home, because I did very kindly get the 4K like recently, which you will see in a future video. So that's the film Weapons. At number 3, I've gone for, again, another British film on this list, I should say. And again, really surprising that we're going to get the sequel in a month's time, you know, like what, 6-7 months after this film. So it's quite a sheer coincidence, and who knows where the sequel will be in my end of year film list like this time next year, but we'll see. Not trying to jump ahead too much there, but Danny Boyle back in the director's chair, and my goodness, is kind of his first film in about 6-7 years, and what a cracking time this film was. And again, just really good, a great resurgence for this film series after so long, and that is 28 years later. I thought this film was excellent, guys. I know this film has got a bit of a mixed reception, and I can see why, but I loved it, guys. I really just loved how it had a bit of a reset button for this film series. The main lad was a great leading character as you see the film go on. You know, like his dad kind of passes the bat over to him, and it's kind of a film of two halves. I thought Jodie Comer was a great supporting addition to the story as well. The score from Young Fathers, the band was excellent as well. The way the film was shot, the camera techniques did remind me a little bit of T2 Trainspotting there. And I can only give props to the brilliant kind of direction this film went in from Danny Boyle, who is one of the best British directors out there, it's got to be said. And yeah, I just loved this. I had a great time with this one at the cinema. The ending was a bit bizarre. I can see why a lot of people had problems with that ending. I totally get that. It was a big talking point for a lot of people. But I am kind of interested in where that ending's going to go and how you're going to see that kind of come into the picture on the upcoming sequel there, The Bone Temple. But yeah, Ralph Fiennes was great as the Doctor in this film as well. That train scene was quite intense as well, and quite sort of, you know, like shock horror value. So yeah, I loved this, guys, and I'm so glad this is here at number 3, my third favourite film of the year, 28 years later. My runner-up of the year and my second favourite film of the year. Now, this film was my number 1 favourite film of the year for many months, and I thought, no, surely there's not going to be a film that's going to top this. Surely not. And of course, we're going to find out what that film was when we get to my number 1 film of the year. But I'm still really glad to say this is my second favourite film of the year. I had a quality time with this one, and I think because of how great the film is, in my opinion, but because I saw this back-to-back weekends within 2 wonderful film community YouTube meetups, one in Birmingham and then one in Hartlepool. So yeah, one of my best cinema outings of the year, because just being with fellow friends and wonderful YouTubers and back-to-back weekends. Yeah, I had a quality time with this film, guys, and that is Sinners. This was brilliant, and yeah, just a really interesting take on the vampire subgenre. I thought the 1930s theme and the setting that this film went for was just so interesting and engaging to watch. Michael B. Jordan played the main two characters really well here. The way the film was choreographed, the music, the kind of the bluesy music was just really well delivered here, and really went hand in hand with the storytelling. I thought this was absolutely fantastic, guys. The whole setup and the build-up in the first half was great, and it kind of gets even better when you get to that nightclub. You see the vampires come into the picture, and that kind of flips the film on its head. And yeah, I just thought this was brilliant, guys. One of the best of the year. And again, the choice of songs, the original songs and the soundtrack was excellent. It kind of took a little bit of inspiration from Dusk Till Dawn as well. And again, I haven't seen it, but is it Near Dark, that other vampire film? So had a stellar time with this one, guys. And my second favourite film of the year and my runner-up of the year goes to Sinners. But in the end, Sinners was taken off the number one spot, and this isn't probably going to be any surprise because I had a gut feeling this was going to take the cake for my number one film of the year. Paul Thomas Anderson, possibly one of my favourite directors now. And it's because of films like this, and this had to end up being my number one of the year. I was just glued to the screen from minute one to the final seconds of this film, and that is one battle after another. Wow, this is fantastic, guys. I absolutely loved and adored every single minute of this film at the cinema. From the performances, the choreography, the sound design, the cinematography, it was just all those ingredients, the premise, the story as well, all these ingredients that meshed together, and it gave us another modern masterpiece here. I thought this was absolutely excellent. And again, a film of two halves, you know, it's an interesting kind of family-driven plot, but you see kind of how it's sort of how you see that going to a bit of a different avenue set after 16 years. And you're really rooting for one character to the next. I thought the pacing was just off the chart, off the scales. Again, there'd be scenes where this car would just roll over this hill as well, and that music that just really carries that. It's just a brilliant film. Just again, Leo, Sean Penn, Regina King all steal the show here, and Sean Penn played a great villain in there. Leo and Sean Penn, I would imagine, would be getting great recognition at the Oscars for their performances in this. And yeah, it's just a great kind of film of two halves where you're focusing like kind of Leo and his family, and then you see kind of they become a bit distant, but you're kind of rooting for Leo to get back with his family as this film set 16 years afterwards. And he's kind of on the run as well, and you're just rooting for him. Wonderful film, guys, and I think if I watch this again, it could bump up to 5 out of 5 for me on Letterboxd. So yeah, that is my number one film of the year. My favourite film of the year goes to One Battle After Another, and this will be a day one purchase for me on physical media there. So there you go, guys. That's it. That is my top 10 favourite films of 2025. Guys, I would love to know your thoughts on all of these films, and I actually would love to hear your top 10 favourite films of the year as well, or some of your favourite films of the year. I would say 2025 has been a solid year for films. I think there's been more films I've enjoyed than disliked from this year for sure. Yeah, most of the new releases I'm really glad to say I have had a very good time with. And yeah, do let me know your thoughts on any of these movies and what's some of your favourite films of the year. I would love to know all of that good stuff in the comments down below there. And yep, I'll be back for my top 10 albums of the year video. And yep, I hope everyone's had a fantastic Christmas, and I'll be back for more content soon there. So thanks for watching, cheers for stopping by, and until next time, I'll see you for the next video. Bye bye, take care guys, thank you so much.